Information is power. Information is power.
Okay, everybody, it's the Information Man Show. All right, everybody. All right, everybody.
Is power.
Peace. Peace. Everybody, thank you for your patience. Thank you for waiting. Thank you for waiting patiently. Let me say we're doing it again, and hopefully there won't be any technical problems this time around. As you know, I have the lovely Empowered Esquire with me. Let me throw a beautiful picture of her. Great attorney at law, former prosecutor, and we are going to get into an area that all of you have been waiting for. We're going to talk about Bam, of course, and the situation with him in New York as it relates to the Child Victims Act that they're trying to bring him under suit, as well as they are bringing Zulu Nation under suit as well. Okay, and then we're going to give you a tidbit bonus where we are going to discuss. That's right, the what's been hot all over the YouTube streets and all over the media streets, and that is the situation of one Michael Norwick, a.k.a. we know him as Brother Polite. There was a bond hearing just a week ago, and I know on the YouTube streets, people have gone back to their channels. They try to dissect the situation. What's going on? What did the lawyers really say? What are the judges really saying? If you can hear my voice clearly, everybody, put a 1 in the chat room. Let's make sure that sound is coming through. But everybody's been trying to dissect the situation, including myself. And we're going to lay to rest some of that today by having the Empowered Esquire, attorney at law, let her break down to us, as he was trying to do a week ago before everything went haywire with the stream. Let her break down in legal terms what we witnessed just a week ago. We're not going to get into innuendo. We're not going to get into the guessing game. We're going to get into the game of truth. As you know, I'm about truth over here.
Tell the truth.
And that's what we're going to get into. So with that said, let me put myself back on the screen. I'm going to bring her in. And I want to thank everybody out there that's watching, being patient, everyone who's subscribed to the channel. Matter of fact, let me do this out of respect for people who came in. Let me just, I think Brother Keith gave me a super chat. So I want to thank him for that super chat.
Thank you for the super chat.
We got Joe Sapow in the house, J-Lo, Rich, Brother Keith Johnson, that's my Johnson brother from the Tim Black program. Thank you for coming over and giving me that super chat. Okay, we've got the Queen that's come in the house, Honey B, Michael Johnson, Boxing Talk, and more that's in the house. Kiki is in the house, the guy from Texas. Let me see. Okay. Keith said this. He super chatted me the $50, and I really appreciate that, brother.
Thank
a lot.
you for the super
Goes
chat.
back into the program, improving the program. He says, peace, information, man, and chat. Hope everybody is safe, enjoying the weekend. My brother, information, man, you got clout. You got a lot of love from Tim Black, Freedom Friday. Oi, I appreciate that. Got a lot of love from the Tim Black show. Oh, and older brothers will be connecting soon. Yeah, I got to get the Wolf Pack over here. I got to get Tim Black over here as well. I've been watching him from far, and I had a chance to talk to him a few times on his show. He's coming over. It's just a matter of me making contact. The Pastel of the Pastel show, he's coming over too. I've been talking to him on his program. It's just a matter of making those connections to get him over. He's coming over soon. Don't worry. We got Barbie girl Tina in the house. Peace to you, sister. And I know her from IG, folks. Believe me, she's a sister. Okay. So I've seen her talked to her on IG. Good sister. And the reason why I broke her down with the Blue Ranch, because she's been promoting my channel on other black content creators' channels. I've been going to other channels and seeing her dropping my name all over the place. So I got to give her a lot of respect for that, because that's how you grow channels, when you have great people like yourself in the chat room supporting. We got BT Killer that's in the house. Thank you for being here. We've got Angie's in the house. Angelique, I call her. I'm always ruining her name, but she said call her Angie. She says, what's up, info man? We got Miss VS is in the house. Money to Burn has come in the house. Kiki, as I said before, I'm just trying to give some folks some respect, because once the Empowered Esquire gets going, I don't want to cut her off too much. Even though I want to recognize people in the chat room, once she gets going into the legal words, I don't want to cut into her flow. So I'll step in. I'll come in whenever I can to shout people out. Just want to give people respect out there. And if I miss any super chats, nothing personal. I'm trying to look at the screen as possible. We got Peggy Rosser who's come in. Okay. We've got Natural is in the house here. J-Lo, James. We got James Jones is here. And I'm going to stop right there. I hope I didn't miss anybody. We got I Am Queen. Candace is in the house. We got Sister Joe in the house. We got RY in the house. I like the RY better. I think you changed it back to that, and I like that better, sister. And let me see who else. Michael. Okay. We got Afro in the house. My sister Afro, the queen. Patora Afro, beautiful part of Africa, Patora, Africa, who's in the house. And let me stop it right there because I have to get to the Empowered Esquire and bring her in right now. So everybody, thank you. But let me bring the sister in right now. And let's go with an overlay here. Woo, and let's go right there. Boom. A little bit of a, there we go. How you doing, my sister? I unmuted you there.
Hello, everyone. Ooh, did someone really just start up that loud van? Hello, everybody. I'm here visiting family. I'm in Brooklyn with family today. So you're going to hear the ambiance of Brooklyn.
But that's all right because that's better than the stream like dropping off altogether. So, you know what I'm saying? It's definitely better than what happened last week. So let's get back on track here. Last week, before we went into the Afrika Bambaataa and his potential legal issues as it relates to a lawsuit, Child Victims Act in New York, can you give everybody in the chat room that's been waiting for this information a little critique as to what we witnessed last week with Polite as it relates to the bond hearing? Let's put to rest what people are believing and what's true from what's not true. Go right ahead, my sister.
Absolutely. So I actually did a live review of the bond hearing on my channel. So if you're curious to kind of do a step-by-step review of what happened there, you can check that out on my channel. But just the gist of it was, this case was heard before a judge. A lot of people have been speculating about whether or not bail was appropriate and da-da-da-da. And so we did hear the prosecutor say that, in her opinion, bail should have never been granted, and that it was her understanding that there was a mistake made by the detective or by someone else, the clerk or someone along the way, right? Why bail was actually granted, right? We also heard the judge give his opinion that he didn't see a motion, that was saying, I don't think that bail should be granted. So the prosecutor expressed that she thought that bail was granted in error. The judge expressed that he felt that the prosecution should have filed a motion in that regard. They should have filed a motion saying, hey, we do not think this defendant should be granted bail. So somewhere along the way, we know that there was a disagreement as to whether or not Brother Polite should have ever been granted bail to begin with. So we heard that conversation. Then we also heard the addressing of bail on each charge. And the judge explained, hey, the state has currently bail set for the previous charges, but we have a new information here. And a new information is a new charging document. So the judge said, we have a new information here. So I assume that you all would want to readdress bail. And so the judge set bail per charge on the case. And so now the total bail amount is $46,000. Whereas it was supposedly previously, I think, $21,000 or something like that. It's now $46,000. So he does have a higher bail amount. The prosecutor also restated that she believes that he should not have bail. And the judge restated to the prosecutor that she should file a motion. So it's likely that we will see a motion in the future from the prosecutor addressing her position on bail and possibly requesting that Brother Polite's bail be revoked.
Now, let me ask you this question. Would he be required to pay that bail in full, or are they going to give him a payment plan, for a lack of a better word?
So a criminal defendant is never required to pay a bail amount in full, right? If they can, however, that is what bail bondsmen are for. Like, that's kind of how they created their lane, because bail bondsmen understood that people would be granted bail amounts that they couldn't afford. So bail bondsmen step in and they kind of secure the amount of the bail via a transaction with the defendant. So a lot of times you'll hear that someone put their house up or something like that.
Yes.
That happens via a bail bondsman. So, someone could go to a bail bondsman and say, I have this collateral, my bail is this amount, and I can't afford it. And then the bail bondsman would say, okay, I'll put up the bail for you, and I'll hold the title to your home or whatever as collateral. So the court isn't involved in, helping a defendant afford bail in any way. The court sets the bail, and if you can afford it, you move forward. If you can't, you go to a bail bondsman. Yes. And the bail bondsman acts as an intermediary that assists defendants who can't afford their bail.
Okay, let me ask you this question, because I was on a panel and there was this question about whether Michael Norwood, aka Brother Polite, whether he cooperated with authorities by arriving into, going to the police precinct and volunteering, giving them whatever DNA they needed from him. Did he, from your understanding of this case, did he just voluntarily go in, or did they have to track him down? Because the question is, was he trying to sort of not cooperate since they took so long to bring this out to the public, because this is something that happened in February? Is there any indication legally that you have noticed that he was sort of trying to evade the law? What is your thoughts about that, counselor?
So here's what I would say. Although a warrant is a warrant, right? So a warrant is issued with the permission of some sort of court, and it is akin to a court order, right? So you do have to follow a warrant. Legally, someone has to submit to a warrant, but practically, we know that people flim-flam and ignore warrants all the time. Right?
All the time.
And especially when you have a defendant who lives in California and this is a warrant from the state of Florida, et cetera, right? Realistically, Brother Polite, Michael Nowak, I say Nowak, I've been told it's something else. Quite frankly, I don't care. Michael Nowak could have tried to avoid this warrant somehow, right? And so what his attorney kind of tried to bring to light in the hearing to give him some credit was, well, my client didn't do that. He received the warrant. He submitted to the warrant. He did not put up any sort of lack of compliance or any sort of fight or didn't attempt to evade the warrant in any way. So from a legal perspective, a warrant is a warrant. You have to submit. That's true. But from a practical perspective, Michael Nowak could have tried to evade this warrant. And the allegation is that he did not try to evade, that he submitted. Now, when defense counsel said that, the prosecutor didn't say anything. So we don't know from the prosecution's perspective if they agree with that or if there were some things that happened behind the scenes.
And the reason why I bring this up to your attention is because of the fact that in the his lawyer, Nicole Garcia, if I'm saying her name correctly, she made the statements that she didn't believe that Michael Norwood, aka Polite, should have been granted a bail in the first place. Would that potentially speak to what you're just saying right now, that there's a potential that he could have been trying to evade cooperating with authorities? Am I correct or wrong?
I don't necessarily think that that's what she was referring to.
Okay.
I think what she was referring to is that, in her opinion, the first-degree felonies that were initially charged were offenses that someone just should be ineligible for bail, just not eligible. I think that is what she was kind of getting at when she said, well, I don't think that the defendant should have been granted bail. But as the judge pointed out, the new charging document only speaks to second-degree felonies. The new charging document does not mention the originally charged first-degree felonies.
Mm-hmm.
So that's kind of what the judge meant when he said, listen, if that's how you felt then, you should have filed a motion to that effect. I'm now moving forward with this new charging document where I see second degree as the top charge.
Yes.
So here is the bail.
Wow. Wow. Let me say shout out to the real Aaron Collins, Angie. We got Big Dog Philly OG in the house. We got Joy in the house. Keith is in the house. People are coming in one step at a time. So I appreciate everybody coming over. Thank you all and being a part of this program. Let me just say this as we get ready to get into the Bambaataa situation. Can you let everybody know in the chat, everybody listening, what we can expect in this program in terms of what can we expect in terms of what's going to happen potentially when they go back? Because when they go back on December 3rd, that's not the trial, right? What is that going to be? Can you remind people of that?
So when you look at the case, it says December 3rd and it says status. So more
Right.
than likely what will happen December 3rd is they will come back to court and the judge will ask each side of the case what their status is. So are you ready for trial? And then that will allow for each side of the case to express whether or not they are ready to move forward with the trial. Now, there are several reasons why they may not be ready by then. They could still be in motion practice, right? Which is where you have one side filing motions and then the other responding. I believe that Michael Nowak's attorney already filed a motion to dismiss. I believe so.
Mm-hmm.
And so if that's the case, you know that the prosecution has to respond to that. And that is part of the course. Usually the minute defense counsel is retained, they file what is called an omnibus motion, which is usually a motion to dismiss, a motion to suppress, all in one.
Okay.
So very likely prosecution will have to respond to those motions and they'll have a back and forth. So the judge will ask, what is your status? If they are complete with motion practice, then they may say they're ready for trial. And if they are not complete with motion practice and there's outstanding discovery that hasn't been exchanged, things like that, then either side will express that they're not ready. And the judge will move forward with saying, okay, well, when do you think you could be ready? Let's set a new date. And the next date will be a potential trial date. So that is more than likely what will happen.
Okay, let me ask you this last question. Oh, because someone, I think it was Lee in the chat room, had said because of him being on bail, can he only stay in one place? Can he still travel around? We know that he has some residency in California. He's been in Miami, obviously, because of what happened for some time back and forth. Is it possible that they may say he has to stay in one place? But then again, I'm thinking to myself, if they were willing to give him bail, then somehow his defense lawyers were able to convince the judge or the courts that he's not a potential flight risk. What are your thoughts on that as it relates to Polite?
So the caveat here is that, and I believe that Polite represented this to, in this case, the caveat here is that Polite is allegedly a California resident. Mm-hmm. So I believe that he has represented to this court that he is a California resident. And so I believe, in my humble opinion, as I always say, that the court is taking that into consideration. And so it's very likely they're not going to tell him that he can't go home, right? Mm-hmm. It's very unlikely, sorry. So it's very unlikely that they would say to him, you can't go home. As you so eloquently said, bail was granted. So very likely, although they may give him conditions that restrict his movement and as it comes to international travel, usually they would say, since you're a resident of such and such, you are permitted to go to your place of residence, right? Your home, your domicile. But as far as international travel and things like that, that is probably restricted. Okay.
Let me say peace to Michael Ross, who gave me the $20 super chat. I really appreciate that.
Thank you for the super chat.
And once again, thank you to Brother Keith, who gave me the $50 super chat. But let me go ahead and say peace to Joy again. We got Crystal Vlogs Lifestyle is in the house. J-Lo Rich is in the house. We got Remy Red, who's over from the UK, sisters from the UK, who's checking in on a program right now. Thanks a lot, Michael Ross, for that. Definitely, all of those things go back into the program so that I can continue giving you great content, great style, what have you. Before we go into Bam's case, let me see another question I want to ask you as it relates to Michael Norwick. Oh, that's right. The social media. It was obvious to everybody that the Nicole Garcia, the prosecutor, was saying that there's been something going on, whether it be harassing the victim in this case. And then there's this question of whether he's been doing things on social media that's going to look bad for him. The judge did say he had a First Amendment right to express himself. But how far is going too far, counselor? Because he came on social media and gave everybody a tongue lashing, talking about how he's going to sue everybody, sue people in the chat room, sue people that are doing videos about him, sue. And I'm saying to myself, they could be looking at what he's doing on social media and show that he's showing no reverence towards the sensitivity of the case that he is finding himself in right now. What are your thoughts before we go to Afrika Bambaataa?
So exactly what you're saying, Information Man, was specifically addressed in the hearing. There was a comment about social media, and the prosecutor, Nicole Garcia, she specifically said, Your Honor, the defendant is saying things on social media. He's speaking about this case on social media, et cetera, et cetera. The judge then explained to Michael Nowak that he needs to be mindful of what he's saying online. The judge said, yes, you have a First Amendment right. However, if you are saying things that are intimidating a witness in this case, you're going beyond that right.
Right.
So know that your right has limitations. And that's another thing that I say on my channel all the time. Rights are not absolute. Every right that you receive in exchange for protection, for benefits, things like that with the government, right? Every right that you have in exchange with them for, that right has a limitation. And criminal cases are one of those limitations. So the progression of a criminal case always takes precedent over your individual rights. And that's what the judge said. He said, yes, you have a First Amendment right, but my case takes precedent. So if you start to interfere with my case, with the things that you are saying, then we have a problem. He also threw another hint at the prosecutor in this case. So we should be looking for quite a few motions from the prosecutor in this case, because one, he hinted to her that she needs to file a motion about bail.
Wow.
Second, he hinted to her that she needs to file a motion about social media. The judge flat out said, if you feel that there are some things being said that are infringing on the progression of this case, put it in a motion. And so I think that we should be seeing a motion from prosecution here very, very soon, in which they kind of compile all the things that Brother Polite has said online. They discuss how that is impacting their case and potentially impacting their victim, and they put that to the court. So I think we should be seeing that. And quite frankly, if we don't see that, taking into consideration the judge hinted at that, then that's another conversation that we'll have then.
Okay, let me say a shout out and much respect to Brother Chief X, who's come in the house. I want to give him a hearty clap because I have a lot of respect for that brother. I've had a chance to talk to him personally on phone call, and he's really working and building his channel up, and he's got a great channel. He's got great content coming over there. I want to give him a shout out. And Chief X is going to be on the Information Man very soon on this platform, because I want him to delve into the research that he has embarked on as it relates to were black people the real makeup of what we call Egypt, Kemet, what have you. He has some research he's done that has been quite controversial in the YouTube streets, and those in the conscious community have not dared to challenge him, as he gets up and he says, I challenge anyone. But but over here on the Information Man show, we're going to bring him on here and have him go in about that research that he has embarked on. So that's Chief X, who gave me the $5 super chat. Thank you, my brother.
Thank you for the super
Peace
chat.
to you. Let me acknowledge another person here. We got Nappy Yankee. Let me give him a clap. And so Nappy Yankee, along with Brother Max World and a few bunch of other folks have been heavily promoting my channel on their platforms. So I say the same thing. Check out Nappy Yankee. Check out Chief X. Check out Brother Max. Check out everybody who has a channel. We got a lot of content creators over here. Some people that are content creators. Check them out. Give them support because we put a lot of work into bringing this type of content to you. People are using their, Esquire is there with her family and she's taking time to be with us. So with that said, and let me say peace to Antonio Foster, if I'm saying that name correct. Thank you for coming over and joining the chat room today. I did not miss you. And let's get, and then we got Chris CCC. We got the badass trucking babe that's in the house. Once again, Chief X is the bomb, man. I like that brother a lot. We got Real Aaron Collins who says it's sad that the child polite violated is not being protected in any form or fashion at all. That's what Real Aaron Collins says. And then we got Chris CCC who's giving some respect to Chief X right now. I really appreciate everybody that's come over. Key's over here. But let's get into it right now, because the person that this video is really supposed to be focused on, but we had to give people bonus material, is Afrika Bambaataa in the what we would call the Universal Zulu Nation that is also a part of this situation. They have been brought up under a suit in New York which is under the Child Victim Act. And we all know that Ronald Savage, let me say his name correctly because I did not last time. Ronald Savage originally came forward and said that he had been touched. There was some misconduct upon him as a underage kid as being part of the Zulu Nation, and that the allegations is that Bam was doing this stuff inside of his apartment, where he was also doing the business of the Zulu Nation, which I wonder if that's the reason why they were able to put them both together like this. So what I want to do is I want to have the Esquire, Empowered Esquire, talk about this particular situation. And I do mean right now, sister. So what are your thoughts about this? This has been something that's been going on for a long time. I have a video that I am going to show people when Bam did his first interview about the allegations. This is like 5 years ago, folks. But I want to get your legal opinions right now, sister. What are your thoughts? And what's going on, Sister Henderson? I see you in the house, Sister Henderson. And we got Huge. We got Huge in the house. Go right ahead, sister.
Also want to, give my love to everyone in the chat. As Information Man said, I'm here with my family, but I'm also here with you because, as content creators and as professionals here, we dedicate, our time to you and what we're doing to be here. And it's really important to me that we have more enlightened conversations about these cases. That means so much to me, and it's why I spend so much time doing this. With that being said, Afrika Bambaataa and the Zulu Nation were sued under New York's Child Victims Act. I recently did, and by recently, I mean literally 2 hours ago, I did a live stream where I put up the actual lawsuit. So if you're interested in seeing the actual lawsuit and me breaking down and explaining the actual lawsuit, that's over on my page right now.
Yes.
Now, as far as, Information Man's question, so the reason that the Zulu Nation were included in this suit is because John Doe, which he doesn't, say his name in the lawsuit. So
but we know he's 12. We know he's 12 years old. Is that correct?
Yes. So although there's been speculation about who this is, when you look in the public record, it says John Doe. So we don't know for sure who this is. But what we do know is this man is saying that back when he was 12 years old, he says he was 12 years old in 1991. So he says back when he was 12 years old in 1991, he met Afrika Bambaataa, became a member of the Zulu Nation, and that Afrika Bambaataa abused him in the apartment that was also the headquarters for Zulu Nation. So that is how Zulu Nation got brought in, because a lot of people, like you said, Information Man, have been saying, well, what does Zulu Nation have to do with this? And it's sad that we have to explain this, but I will. If a place is the headquarters for an organization, and illegal activity occurs within that headquarters and the victim decides to sue, they can sue that company because they can say, as John Doe said in his lawsuit, that company should have known what was going on.
Yes.
That's exactly what John Doe says in his lawsuit. He says it's Zulu Nation headquarters. You can't say you didn't know what was going on. So this victim is suing Afrika Bambaataa for what he did to him, and then suing Zulu Nation, alleging that they knew what was going on and they took no action to stop it.
Wow. These type of charges, what is he looking at? I mean, can they... Well, let me correct this. Is it actual charges or is it just like a civil suit that's being taken out against him? Because remember, when this whole thing broke out many years ago, 5 or years ago, after Ronald Savage came forward, and then, of course, Hassan Campbell, we know him of the YouTube fame here on YouTube. There was this talk, because I have a video that I looked at that talked about how there was a statute of limitations were already suspended. But then I did further research, my sister, and the research that I gathered said that they implemented this because during the virus situation that the country's been going through, they wanted people to have the ability to still be able to go after people that have violated them because the courts were shut down. Everything was shut down in the country, right? Everything was shut down. So they enacted this in the way that they did around the time that we were going through that as part of the COVID package. Mm-hmm. What is your thoughts about that? Is this a civil suit or is this they can straight charge him for this? Make the distinction of that. Maybe I didn't hear you correct there. I'm sorry if I didn't hear that.
No, it's fine. It is a civil lawsuit.
Okay.
So plaintiff identifies himself as John Doe and he is suing in Bronx County. So it's a civil lawsuit. It is not a criminal case. Perhaps a criminal case may occur at some point. We don't know that. Mm-hmm. But this lawsuit is a civil lawsuit. Now, as far as the Child Victims Act, now, when you were talking about the pandemic and the one-time extension that they did do what I believe was a one-time 1-year extension under the Child Victims Act due to the pandemic, where they said that, certain allegations that would have timed out during this whole pandemic situation were giving you more time, right? Mm-hmm. But that was an extension on top of an extension because the Child Victims Act in itself already extended the age for these cases. So originally, I believe it was either 22 or 23 years old. So the original law was if something happened to you when you were a minor that you want to sue for, you have until you become 22 years of age or 23 years of age. It was one of those. And there was a big revolution started by the victims of the Catholic Church. They are really the group that got it going because a lot of the altar boys and nun assistants and Catholic Church students who were abused when they were younger, they didn't have the fortitude and the strength to discuss it until they were in their 50s and 60s. So when these people finally started to discuss what happened to them and realized they couldn't sue, they started a big movement. And that's how the original Child Victims Act even came about, from all of the victims of the who were saying, hey, this happened to me back when I was 10. I'm now 67 and I should be able to sue. You can't tell me that I can't sue. I couldn't have sued back when I was 10, right? So initially, the government took that under consideration and they raised the age from 22 or 23 all the way up to 55.
Wow.
The first move they made where they said, hey, listen, we're extending it because we're recognizing that someone who is 22 or 23 and something just happened to them at 12 or 13, they may not yet be in the place psychologically to actually file a case about this.
Okay. Let me say peace and love to Sheldon. He says, my fellow Johnson, Keith, highly recommended you. Peace to you, Johnson. We got this saying over in the Wolfpack, ladies and gentlemen. We're all members of the Tim Black YouTube channel. Tim Black is dynamic, and he has this saying where he says he calls everybody Johnson. It's part of the kind of the lingo over there. And Tim Black's going to be on this program very soon. But peace to you. Thank you for the super chat. And there was somebody else that came in. Oh, here we are. Lady T Speaks. And I think she was recommended to come on over here too. Lady T Speaks, thank you for coming over. And then there's somebody else. I got Susie Q in the house saying hello to the Empowered Esquire. All right, let me get some little clap right here. Here we go. All right. Fantastic folks in the chat room. Look. This is very important. Empowered Esquire TV said several times that she goes into more depth about these questions that I've been asking her on her channel. But guess what? I have the link to her channel in the description of this video. So you can click into that, go over to her channel, subscribe, hit the bell of notification like this. Hit that and subscribe to her channel. But also do this, folks, to the mods in the chat room. Drop her channel link to her channel if you can in that chat room right there so everybody can go over and subscribe to the program. And I'm so glad that she can give us the time today that she has to talk about these issues. I'm glad that you clarified that because that was something that was on my mind. Is this obviously it's a civil suit. This is the question. The John Doe, it was very graphic as to what John Doe said happened to them. They spoke of being passed around to other people, being used for sexual pleasure, and then being passed around to other people. And that this was going on for a number of years as they were involved with Zulu Nation and what have you. And let me shout out to DOD who's in the house. What are your thoughts about that? The gruesome circumstances. Obviously, if this can be proven, I don't know. I mean, it's been so many years. You don't have, potential DNA in this. But when you don't have potential DNA, I'm just saying potentially, and you don't have certain things to be able to say, aha, I got this person, they did it. And it's just one person's word to another, like a Ronald Savage who's a grown person, or this person who's no longer a 12-year-old. How does the court weigh all of this when you're talking about people making accusations that happened when they were a minor, but now they are an adult? And when you are a minor, you can make the argument that when you're a minor, people sometimes are scared to come forward, right? You're a minor, you don't know, you don't have any power as you may have as an adult. But what are your thoughts about that, sister?
So this plaintiff specifically said, and kudos to him for even, addressing this, but he actually says in his lawsuit, I didn't even tell my mother what happened to me until I was in my 30s.
Wow.
Things allegedly took place when he was 12 until he was about 16, So yes, it is very, very difficult for minor victims, for underage victims to talk about these things. A lot of times, as I was saying, they're not ready, psychologically, emotionally, they're not ready to discuss these things until they're well into adulthood. And by that time, sometimes the statute of limitations had already passed. And so that is the reason that these statutes of limitations were increased. Give me one moment.
It's okay. So she's got a dog barking there, ladies and gentlemen, but it's okay. I hope everybody is enjoying the program and getting something from her expertise as a lawyer. Let me shout out some people in the chat room. We've got Kiki, Chris CCC. We got Southern Breeze. Southern Breeze, I'm so happy to see you over here. I know that you are a big follower of Freedman, my man Shannon Freedom. Thank you for coming over and being a part of this family as well. We've got the Bazaring in the house, and I'm bad with names, folks, so you got to work with me best you can. And we got my man George Makem in the house. Let me give him a clap. George Makem, y'all got to check that brother out. George Makem of the Urban Nerds Worldwide, ladies and gentlemen. Check out, he has a nonprofit organization. He's working with youth in the city in Philadelphia, doing big things, not just talking about it, but he's doing it. And I got to give him all the respect in the world. Check out his channel, The George Makem Experience. Once again, thank you. And we got my man Blair in the house saying super clown George. Super clown George. Okay. What do we got going on here? I hope this is no haterism going on right now. But peace to everybody that's coming to the chat room. Oh, and we got Victoriously in the house. I didn't get a chance to say her name. She's a big supporter of the program. Let me give her a clap as well.
Information
Tell the truth.
is power.
All right. So everybody in the chat room, I thank you all for coming over and listening to this program with the Empowered Esquire. Once again, she has a YouTube channel and she touches on all different cases, and she's becoming quite well known on these YouTube streets now. A lot of people, I'm sure people are emailing you, trying to get in contact with you, clamoring to get you on their program to be able to examine various legal issues that's going on right now. Let me get your thoughts about this. Is it only the statute of limitations for why Bam has not done a day of time in jail, prison? He hasn't gone to any legal courtroom. I think his lawyer on the video that I have said that he's not been charged with anything. And I'm saying to myself, wow, it's been a lot of years. There's also rumors that he fled New York to Chicago because he was getting a lot of hate that was coming his way from people who were coming at him. I don't know how true that is. Allegedly, they said that he had ran to Chicago. I'm not sure. Someone can correct me on that. But how is someone supposed to feel confident, Sister Esquire, that they can bring charges against someone if they feel like a person can walk around as long as Bam have, when there's been lots of people that have come out and said, yeah, I think he did this. You've even had members of the Zulu Nation, people that used to be members that have dropped off from the organization. I just talked to a guy on a channel just a couple of days ago who said, yeah, I believe that he did these things allegedly. What are your thoughts?
So I first want to say, someone in the chat, Zion Movements, said that he heard that Bambaataa ran to Brazil.
Oh, yes. Okay.
Let me say this. I am not saying what Afrika Bambaataa did or did not do, because of course there is no way for me to know that.
That's right.
But what I am saying is that Brazil is the child exploitation capital of the world. It's known that a lot of people go to Brazil to engage in activities with minors. It is known that there are groups of parents in Brazil who have children that from the moment that child is born, they know they will groom that child to be sold on the black market for illicit purposes.
Wow.
So I want to leave that at that, because it's interesting, if it is true that he went to Brazil, that of all the places in the world, he would choose Brazil.
Wow.
Whenever you go to Brazil or Thailand, you should be raising your eyebrow, because either of those places have a reputation for certain things. Hi, to Monica.
Monica, thank you for the $5 super chat. I'm glad that I was able to shout you out, because you had super chatted me a week or two ago and I totally didn't see you. So thank you for the super chat.
Thank you for the super chat.
And let me give you a clap, because there's also somebody else who is a wonderful dude. And this guy is wonderful. And that's Glassy Kingdom. He has a huge channel. He has maybe two channels. This brother is a musician, plays incredible Caribbean music. He has live concerts from the Caribbean on his show. He plugs in live music from well-known artists. The man is incredible. That's my brother right there, Glassy Kingdom. Gotta get him on the program as well. He's been eluding me. You've been eluding me, brother. But you're supposed to be on this show as well. Let me give you a clap for coming over, because I know you're a big dog. You got your little check mark on your channel. And I thank you for coming over. But definitely, Monica, she gave me a beautiful super chat. Let me give her a clap again. So thank you, sister. All right. Thank you. So, and that's the reason why I'm trying to be very measured and what I'm saying as well, because no matter what we think of Bam Bada, and somebody else super chatted me, and I might have missed this. This was Sister Murray, who gave me a $10 super chat as well.
Thank you for the super chat.
I might have missed her. I'm sorry I missed you if I did, sister. Thank you for coming over as well. But she's a chat room. Everybody give her some love. Give everybody some love in the chat room. But this is why I was measured, because he was not charged with anything. He's had no bond hearing. He's had no nothing. So we can't necessarily say that he has been charged criminally, that he is guilty of this. However, let everybody know, my sister, in a civil case, how much of the laundry can come out in that civil case that could make you look at him and say, I wonder if he did do these things, because now the civil case is bringing out some of the laundry. What do you say?
So here's what I will first say. For his attorney to say that he hasn't been charged with anything, it's akin to someone asking you, if you have COVID and you saying, I don't have a cold. Huh? I mean, it's not related. For him to say that his client has not been arrested or charged with anything does not mean that there's not a valid civil case against him. The burden of proof in criminal court is
Organization Zulu Nation.
Let me stop that right there. Let's go back. I'm sorry about that. Let's go right back. Let's go back. Continue what you were saying, because I'm going to show that video. Let me stop this right here. I was uploading the video and it came on without my control. I apologize for that. Go right ahead, sister.
Perfectly fine. So the burden of proof in a criminal case is beyond a reasonable doubt. It is an extremely high burden of proof, right? So a lot of times there are cases in which there is surmountable evidence, but that's not quite enough to get you over that huge reasonable doubt hill. And that is where sometimes you will see a civil case that is successful, even though there is no criminal case, or even though the criminal case wasn't successful. So for his attorney to say, my client hasn't been charged, my client hasn't been arrested, again, it's akin to me saying, hey, Info Man, do you have COVID? And you saying, I don't have a cold. I mean, it's not the same thing. So that answer is disingenuous. And notice that answer is not, he didn't do it. That answer is, he hasn't been arrested or he hasn't been charged.
Okay, this is what I'm going to do with the time that because I'm not going to take up all your time, but if you could do me the biggest favor, Esquire, Empowered Esquire TV, and make sure y'all share her link in the chat room. Make sure you subscribe to her channel. The link is also in the description of this video. Make sure you give her some love over there as well. But I'm going to show this video. It's only a 3-minute video of Bam giving his explanation, and then you're going to hear his lawyer say the things that I had just mentioned, and then I want you to give your critique as a lawyer as to what your thoughts are legally, that is, not speculatively, legally. So everybody, let's get ready to watch this right now, and hopefully this works.
Founder of the hip-hop cultural organization Zulu Nation, he's been a visiting professor at Cornell and invited to speak around the world. He told me the accusations came as a shock. What is the motivation?
Yeah, what is the motivation? What is the agenda?
Do you think there is an agenda there?
It's hard to say. You don't know what many of these people are thinking, what is behind it. Some parts I've seen, like it could be shake-ups, certain things people might have wanted.
Bambaataa's chief accuser, Ronald Savage, is now 50 years old. He claims in 1980, when he was 15 and under the age of consent, playing hooky led to his first sexual experience with the hip-hop pioneer and was followed by at least 4 other abuse incidents.
I didn't have nowhere to go, so I had his number. And I called him, and he paid for the cab for me to go to his house.
Savage claims through therapy, he came to understand he was abused and became aware of other alleged victims.
I couldn't believe it. I was confused. I was a little nervous, and I was just wondering, like, the other guy coming into the room, and, like, what was they going to do to me?
I asked Bambaataa what he would say to Savage.
The brother knows the people who he came around in my group with and know that he wasn't in my presence, less among those people, and he needs to go back and speak to those people who was part of our organization and deal with them and stop all this type of craziness that they've been trying to put by attacking me.
And you never touched him inappropriately?
I ain't touched this brother whatsoever.
The allegations have set off a social media firestorm and ignited feverish debate. Since the alleged incidents happened so long ago, no criminal charges can be brought. And there have been no settlements or payouts, says Bambaataa attorney Charles Tucker Jr. Have there been any criminal charges filed against Afrika Bambaataa at all?
Absolutely not. Not today, not yesterday, not the day before yesterday, not ever.
The question now is what happens next? Can we ever find out the truth of what really occurred? And are there other victims out there who have yet to come forward? Or is this a case that will only be tried in the court of public opinion? Here's what both sides have to say.
Tell the truth.
In our exclusive interview, Afrika Bambaataa emphatically maintained he is not a sexual abuser. Do you feel now you are among that group of people falsely accused?
Oh, most definitely. I mean, there's always been things in our community where you falsely accuse people, or people have sit in the prisons, political prisoners and groups like that, that they wait to 10, 15, 20, even 30 or 40 years before they find out that this person was railroaded.
But Ronald Savage believes there are more victims out there and that the statute of limitations should be eliminated.
No one can tell anyone when they're ready to let stuff out. And especially if you haven't went through what I went through and other people went through. It's like, how dare you?
All right, then let's get right back over to where we were. So from a legal point of view, you heard at that time, and believe it or not, that video was like 5 years ago during the time when Ronald Savage first came out and he made the accusations that Bambaataa had touched him in some inappropriate manner as a child. And you heard him say there that he was a kid, that he had nowhere to go, and that he went to Bam, and he also was frightened of Bam, what Bam did to him allegedly, and others around him within the Zulu Nation circles. Now, I've said a mouthful by saying that, but let's get over to the counselor here and let her critique the lawyer and what her thoughts are about this video from several years ago, mind you. And he has never been charged legally for doing these acts. However, he is now looking at both Bambaataa and the Universal Nation, Zulu Nation, are looking at a civil case under the Child Victims Act in New York, as I speak right now, as a potential suit against them. Let me say shout out to Zion Movement, and let me say shout out to Old Reliable. Let me see your transcripts is in the house. Peace to you, sister. Everybody do me the favor before you leave this program today. I need everybody to share this video in your social media. If you're a content creator, share this in your community tab, because the Empowered Esquire has dropped some gems over here on this channel today again. But let me go over to her now. What are your thoughts about the video that you had a chance, hopefully you had a chance to hear it for yourself?
So we hear Afrika Bambaataa saying that whenever Ronald Savage was in his presence, there were also other men around. That goes back to John Doe's lawsuit. Afrika Bambaataa himself has just confirmed that if he did these things, there were other people there. Now, he tried to say it in a way in which he said they could confirm that nothing happened. But again, you're just confirming that when you were with these young men, there were other men there as well. He's really just implicating other people. And I can't see why he would do that. I mean, why not just say you're innocent and call it a day? So that's something that I noticed, because for him to bring other men into it, really, he's dragging them through the mud with him.
So wait. So, counselor, that's powerful what you just said. What I get from that is that him saying that, it's almost like he's giving an admission that, yeah, something was going on, but you got to go talk to those guys that was doing it. And if he was the leader of the Universal Zulu Nation, wouldn't he have the responsibility as a leader and the respect of those that were engaging in alleged behavior to say, enough is enough, this ain't gonna happen on my watch, and then have the ability to out them out of the organization and do something to help the young man? At that time, he's an older man now in his 50s, but he was a 12-year-old, or he was a teenager, a teen at that time, an adolescent. What would be his responsibility since he was the leader of this organization? His name is on their charter.
Precisely. He would still be legally responsible. Just as the Zulu Nation is being sued now as a co-defendant, Afrika Bambaataa could be a co-defendant. So if he's alleging that other men were involved and Ron Savage should go to the other men, Afrika Bambaataa can still be a co-defendant because he is still the adult who Ron Savage alleges brought him into the Zulu Nation. So Afrika Bambaataa is still implicated, right? And I think the fact that he pointed at other men and said that Mr. Savage should speak to other men, that just hit my ears from my legal experience as like a bell went off for me. Like, I don't know, that doesn't sound like an appropriate response. So I'll say that. And then again, his attorney answering that he hasn't been charged. Not being charged does not mean anything in civil court. And not being charged does not mean that nothing happened. Another thing is that the law is big on corroboration. And everyone in the chat is talking about the fact that there's more than one victim with the same story. When you have more than one victim with the same story, it's corroboration. Corroboration makes a case stronger in the legal world, right? And from a practical perspective, corroboration makes it more likely that something occurred. If a car accident happens and one person says that the car accident was caused by individual A, but there are 5 other people there who say that it was caused by individual B, one, a court of law will probably take individual B's version of events because there's more corroboration. And 2, most people just colloquially will take individual B's perspective because there's more corroboration.
Right.
So when you have multiple victims with the same story, it's disingenuous and strange for people to allege that all of these people all in concert made up the same story.
Let me say peace to Mama of Boys is in the house. Peace to you for being here. The Queen is in the house. Let me see who anybody else. Jones is in the house. She says, why is it that black men have little to no sympathy, I'm not going to use the R word, for the victims in this case? Let me say this, because I don't like to paint with a broad brush, my sister. I don't like to put everybody in the same basket together. There are those black men, those folks out there who don't care about victims. There are a lot of black men out here who do care. I'm one that does care. That's why I've been riding on this issue in the issues of Michael Norwood, aka Polite, because I have a daughter myself, and I wouldn't want anything to happen to my child, and I'm gonna go mad on somebody, right? So there are black men out here. Maybe we're not hearing enough of them because not every black man is on social media. You know, not every black man has a YouTube channel or is putting their voice out there like a podcast or something of that nature. But there are black men out there like myself and many of us on YouTube that you probably just haven't heard about, that are not for this, because you know how this works, ladies and gentlemen. The YouTube algorithm ain't gonna push black men or even black women who are trying to uphold the black community in a positive way and speak out when you should, especially if you don't have a huge channel with a built-in following already. You see what I'm saying? You're not, but just guess what? This is how it works. All of you in this chat room pushing the channel through the algorithms by sharing the video, hitting the like button, and sharing it with your friends, your family. You get the word out more and more that there are black men like myself and many others, and black women out here who are speaking out about these issues. So my sister, it's not all black men. There are some black men that are dusty and musty and crusty who won't won't speak up and take the bar of these issues. And there are some of us that will speak out. I started speaking out more about these issues because I've been sitting back and I've been tired of seeing the things that I've been seeing. And it also resonated with me personally because I do have a child. So that's why it definitely struck a big chord with me personally, because of the fact that we cannot accept this. And we, in my opinion, we are the real media, because you're not getting this perspective on mass media, whatever the hell that is. Because when you look at CNN, they can't even get 1 million people looking at them, because everybody's eyeballs are watching people like myself, the Empowered Esquire, many people in the chat room who have channels. Eyeballs are watching us and less eyeballs off of regular TV. That's just where it is right now. Empire Esquire, is there anything else that you would like to, as we come to near conclusion, because I know you're with your family today, is there anything that you need people to realize either about this situation with Bambaataa, or anything that you want people to be aware of as it relates to the Michael Norris situation? Because that's more new, whereas the Bam situation has been something that's a little old and he hasn't really technically been charged. Anything you want people to know, let them know. If you got any upcoming live streams where you're going to get into more of these issues, let people know while we have people here right now. Go right ahead, my sister.
So first and foremost, I want to say thank you to you, Information Man, and other men like you who are online speaking out on these topics. That's the first thing.
Thank you.
I want to tell you, as a woman to a man, that your daughter is lucky to have you. A lot of women are victimized because they don't have a father like you. They don't have a father that's there being a dad. And I speak for many, many women when I say those of us who grew up without the father that we needed, we know how important that it is. We know how important it is. So kudos to you, being a stand-up guy, being there for your daughter, doing what you do on your channel. You and the other men like you, shout out to you. So I want to say that first.
I appreciate that, sister. Folks, what I'm going to do, because I know the Esquire has to, spend time with her family, I'm going to stay on a little bit longer for a little Q&A. And what I'm going to do is drop a link in the chat room for anybody who would like to come up. And matter of fact, this is what we'll do. I don't want to take up all your time, but are you comfortable if I put a link in the chat room and have someone who wants to come up, or whoever wants to come up, to ask you any questions related to whether it be, Michael Norwood, Polite, or even Bam? But it's got to be brief, folks. In your questions to her, because she can't stay up here forever. She's got family, but I'm going to stay on and continue the discussion with other people. But I want to give people a chance if they want to ask you any specific questions on the panel. Are you okay with that?
I am. I just need 1 second to go and give my grandpa this food I ordered.
Oh, go right ahead. Go right ahead. No. While you do that, go give grandpa the food. While you do that, I'll drop a link in the chat room for people to come up. And let me say peace and love to Club Den. Let me give Club Den a beautiful clap here. All right, Club Den. Club Den has been supporting me. I'm a moderator on Club Den's channel. Thank you for the moderation, Club Den. And they have some really good topics over there. I have a great time when I go over to their channel. This weekend, I was watching them. They had a really good topic on their channel, and they keep it really fun over there. Beautiful, beautiful folks over there. And I just want to shout them out because they've been shouting me out, and they were saying, hey, support the Information Man show. So I want to say peace to Club Den in the chat room. Give them love, everybody. Peace to you. And let me give them another clap again. Okay. This is what I want to do, everybody. This is what I want to do with the time that we have on the program. What I want to do is I'm going to drop a link in the chat room. I want whoever comes up, I need you to do this immediately. If you got any sound coming out in the background, whether it be another computer, you got to turn it down and keep your questions very focused because I do not want to take up all of her time from her family. So people come up, know what you're going to ask. Be respectful too. Please be respectful, as I know everybody's going to be anyway. And just make sure you get your sound together, because I don't want all that distortion and loud sound and all that backdrop sound. All you got to do, as you already know this, is turn off anything you have in the background that can echo effect into the broadcast. Please do that. So while she comes back, I'm going to drop a link in here right now. And I appreciate everybody over that's here that's supporting the channel. Let me give everybody a clap. So anybody that wants to come on to the program, I just click that in there right now. Hopefully that's coming in there. And we got my man Blue Jeans, who's just come in the house. Let me give Blue Jeans some love too here. He's a big supporter of my channel. Appreciate that. He says, I hope the weather is still warm if this brother's winter is here. Thank you, Blue Jeans. Thank you, Blue Jeans, for coming over and giving me that. I appreciate that. And hopefully the link is in the chat room now. Oops. Why didn't that not go in there? Let me do this again. Okay. All right. There go the link in the chat room. So anybody that wants to come upstairs with us and ask her specific questions related to, it could be polite. It can be even Afrika Bambaataa, but I know what people are going to ask because that's the hot topic right now all over the YouTube streets. So there is the link in there. If you would like to come upstairs and, come up and ask her a few questions, and we're going to be mindful of her time as well, ladies and gentlemen, mindful of her time. Okay, so while we're waiting for someone to come upstairs, and she's in Brooklyn right now, how is it out there? Let us know, how is the weather out there in Brooklyn? What's going on out there in Brooklyn right now?
I have to apologize because the family dog just ran at the screen door and it was like,
It's okay. It's okay.
But yeah, so the weather is actually pretty nice. I'm getting some really nice lighting right now. Oh wow! I wish I would have had this lighting earlier.
You look great. You look fantastic.
Thank you.
You got let's see, we got Xavier Owens in the house saying, enjoying your content, brother. Thank you. I'm enjoying people coming over. Oh, let me click if I'm saying her name correctly. Yvette W says black men are victims as well. I know black men who were, I know the R word, by 3 black men when he was a child. It's probably that needs to be addressed. Yeah, this type of stuff goes on in the black community, and it's one of the things that we don't talk about. It's one of those things that we need to talk about. I work in mental health, and I see the scars of how this affects people. Even men are affected by what happens to them, as well as women, obviously. And I think it's something in the black community that we really need to address. And then this is the question. When we talk about black women, oh, black women got an attitude. Black women got this and that. You may not know that that's a black woman that might have been violated. And that violation could be the reason, amongst many other reasons, why she may have a disposition towards us as brothers. There's even black men that have been violated who may have a disposition towards how they deal with women, because guess what? There are women who do put their hands on the underage as well, but it just doesn't get talked about a lot. And a lot of men don't report that they have also been mistreated and touched in this way. I'm trying to use my words carefully because the algorithms in YouTube will penalize you. Okay, we got Sister Murray who's come upstairs with us, and there she is. And how you doing, sister?
I am doing fine. Can you hear me, Esquire? Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay, good. Because sometimes my StreamYard acts up. So.
Okay, sister. First of all, I want to thank you for the super chat. All your support. You've been coming over to my channel and giving me support, and I thank you. I thank everybody in the chat room. So I would like you to ask any question related to that which you want to get an answer to. Go right ahead, my dear sister.
Thank you so much, Information Man, and thank you for having me over here.
No problem.
Real quick, I do support good content. So when the content's good, I support. And
Thank you.
It's just as simple as that. But not to take up too much time, for people, Esquire, that have cases of this magnitude, that they have been a victim, and the case may be over 20 years old and such, what would be the best advice that you can give those people who want to step forward and seek justice or just want to tell their story? What would be the process that you can give them in order for them to push forward?
So if, you've been a victim and the time has passed for you to take criminal action, the time has passed for you to take civil action, and really there's nothing legally that you can do, I would recommend, if you feel called to do something, right? If it's sitting on your heart that you need to do something, I would recommend that you tell your story either via social media or YouTube or something of that nature, right? To get your story out there, because what you can do, which will cost you absolutely nothing, right, is prevent there from being other victims. And the way that you do that is by getting your story out there. I will tell you that I've known in my personal life people who were victims, and the time for them to take any legal action had passed, but they told their story to the family, and we were able to pinpoint a person who, was being allowed to kind of move in and out of the family, and we were able to pinpoint that person, and we were able to stop there being other victims. So if you've been victimized and you know that for some reason there's nothing you can do legally and you're ready, I would recommend you tell your story, because you could help someone else. You could help prevent someone else from being victimized.
Okay. And what would you say to a person that, okay, I can tell my story. How do I protect myself from any slander or defamatory cases that could be put out against me?
So if someone wants to tell their story and be protected, from any type of danger or slander or anything of that nature, they may want to consider doing so anonymously. You can still do it via social media and, write an anonymous letter or do an anonymous audio recording or something of that nature, right? And distribute it anonymously. If you still want to have your name attached, you can have attached to your statement an attorney. So for example, let's say a victim issued a letter about what happened to him or her. They could have at the end of their statement, I have retained Above the Bar Law Firm, which is my law firm, by the way.
Right.
Above the Bar Law Firm. And I stand ready to have legal representation if someone takes inappropriate acts of retaliation against me, right? You can have a little statement right at the end of your letter or whatever it is that you release. So that would be my recommendation.
Okay, thank you. I did not want to take up too much of your time, but however, there's more people that would like to speak out against these cases and what happened to them, but they're fearful of the backlash of, okay, I'm gonna be sued, I'm gonna be doxxed, they're gonna contact, they'll contact my employer, they'll contact my family. I don't want to get involved in that. So that's why I asked those two questions.
Yes, they can do it anonymously. And one last thing I'll tell you before you go, Glorion, if it is a group of victims, they can actually retain the attorney as a group and remain anonymous. So, for example, let's say it's Brooklyn. I don't know if you all can hear that. It's 4 or 5 victims, right? They can retain an attorney, those 4 or 5 victims together, and release the statement as a group. And because we know people will say, we don't know who they are, they're anonymous. That's what the attorney is for. The attorney said, I've spoken to these people. They are real people, not, a troll behind a machine. I have verified these people and their accounts of what they are about to say. And I, as an officer of the court, represent them in the stories that they're telling, and then have the statement released. So there are a few different ways that you can protect yourself from being harmed if you want to come forward.
Right. Thank you so much. That's all the time that I'm going to take. I'm going to drop back into the chats.
You're welcome.
All right. Well, thank you for coming upstairs, my sister. Appreciate you, as always, being a part of the program today. So thank you. Most definitely.
Thank you.
Okay. I want to go in the order of people. Thank you again, sister. You're the best. Thank you. Let me go in the order of people have come in. So let's see here. But we got the brother right here. What's going on, my brother? Top left, top right corner there. How you doing, brother?
Hey, how's it? How's it, information, man? It's been a while.
It's definitely been a while, my brother. Well, look, for the sake of the time that we have for the sister here, ask whatever questions you would like to ask pertaining to the subject matter, brother.
All right, cool. My quick question. In terms of the concept of, I'm in South Africa.
Okay.
So we have a different
South Africa
legislation altogether to what you guys have. But I wanted to find out if you heard about the Poppy Act is something that we have to try and protect victims and specifically young children who get victimized by these people. So I want to find out in terms of in America, what is the legislation that will stop, because the lady was asking how do you prevent slander and so forth and all those things. And we have a Poppy Act that clearly outlines how do you handle somebody who's been sexually violated or somebody who's faced such circumstance. So I was more interested in that particular part in terms of legislation and the states. What is there?
Okay. Let's see if the sister can answer that question.
So I, of course, am not sure about, legislation in South Africa where you're from, which, by the way, shout out to you tuning in from, all the way from South Africa. But I know that here in the United States, I'm going to ignore the.
It's okay. We know that you're in the natural element, so it's okay. People understand. It's okay.
Screaming their head off for no reason. Like crazy. So here in the United States, we have state laws that protect victims. So, for example, the Child Victims Act. The state of New York has the Child Victims Act. That's a state of New York legislation. But then we also have our federal legislation. So we have federal regulations like the Mann Act, which say that, you cannot remove someone from one state, bring them to another state, and then use them for an illegal purpose, which would cover someone either assaulting someone in a way they don't want or someone doing something with a minor. So here in the United States, we have state level law, but we also have federal level law. And both of them can be applicable depending on what court you're in. Now, with Afrika Bambaataa specifically, that lawsuit was filed in the Bronx in state court. So they have to use state law. I don't know if I answered your question. I think your question was what our laws are.
Is that the question?
Yeah, specifically I'm looking in terms of what does American legislature say in terms of, let's say, here's somebody who's been victimized, and what does it say in terms of protecting? Because the lady earlier on raised the issue of slander and so forth. How are victims particularly safeguarded in terms of backlash from the ones who inflicted such perhaps?
Okay, so in terms of being insulated from backlash, I'll first say what the legislature says about things like this is abundantly clear. So our Congress has made it very clear, especially with extending the statute of limitations, how they feel about these types of cases. It is their priority that people be able to hold accountable someone who victimized them when they were a minor, which is why they increased the age, because they realize that it is very important that they not incentivize people abusing someone and then they can just, it'll time out. If I play around in their mind long enough and manipulate them long enough, it will time out. So our legislature has been very clear on wanting to extend the time so that they can allow victims to come forward. Now, with that being said, the things that we usually do to protect victims are things like stay away orders, which we heard in Michael Nowak's case, orders of protection, which is what they're usually called in New York, or a restraining order, which is what they're sometimes called in civil cases. That is usually what is put in place to protect a victim who comes forward from being harmed, whether it's physically, emotionally, mentally, anything like that. Mm-hmm. As far as slander, if you come forward and there's no case and you feel that there's no way for you to, get any type of order of protection, you could be slandered, right? Someone could come out and say you're lying. You could be defamed. But if they do that, you can sue them. So for example, Sabrina Peterson and the rapper T.I. and his wife Tiny. Sabrina Peterson came out and said that T.I. and Tiny allegedly drugged her and blanked her, that she did not give consent, and that it's something they do all the time. Well, T.I. and Tiny came out and said she's a liar. She is a liar. We never did that. And so people started to attack Sabrina Peterson. So she filed a lawsuit in which she said, T.I. and Tiny are defaming me. They're slandering me. They're saying that I lied about this, which is causing people to come after me when I did not lie. And now her lawsuit is moving forward. T.I. and Tiny tried to get it dismissed, and it's not dismissed. So now in connection with that lawsuit, she can, one, get protection. She can get an order saying that they can no longer speak about her. And two, she can get financial damages.
Wow. Okay. This, for the sake of our time,
Thank you very much.
I'm gonna go ahead and go over to Brother Perspective and let him say some words. I'll put a link if anybody else. Let's make sure we make room for other people to come on board with the time that we have, and then I'll go over to Real Aaron Collins after Perspective says his thoughts. How you doing, by the way, brother?
Sir, I'm well. Can everyone hear me?
Oh yeah, you sound good, man. Loud and clear. Brother, thank you. Well, first of all, let me say to you again, thank you for supporting the channel and coming over. I've been seeing you in the chat room a lot more lately, and I really appreciate that. I know, of course, I'm doing a little bit more juicier content now, but I'm glad to have you on board. And you got the spotlight, brother. Here, ask the sisters some questions.
Yes, sir.
And go ahead.
Respect to you, information man. You keep with this amazing content, and it's greatly
appreciate you. I think your audio fell off a little bit, brother. You might have been borking a little bit. Are you still there? I can't hear you. Are you still there? Okay, this is what we're going to do. Try to come back on, brother, if you can. Maybe go out and come back in because something happened to your audio. I wish I knew what it was, because I really wanted to hear what he had to say. So what we're going to do until I guess the brother is able to get his audio working correctly, he can probably drop off and then drop back into the stream. Let's go over to the Real Aaron Collins and see what he's talking about. Hey, what's going on, brother? Aaron.
Salute to you, man. Salute to you, beautiful beautiful Esquire. Can you hear me?
We can hear you.
Can you hear me?
We can hear you.
We can hear you, Aaron. We can hear you.
Salute to you, beautiful Esquire. Good. Yeah. So, watching the video that Bambaataa just did, I will have to definitely agree with you, Esquire, that the way he said that, it did sound very implicative of what he was doing, and not to mention, if you saw what I put in the chat, he pretty much dry snitched on any other Zulu Nation members that was there. Is it possible that they could bring him on to court just on that statement alone to give account for it? Because like the Miranda law says that anything you say can and will be used against you in a court of law. Is it possible they can do that to him?
So by the way, kudos to you for knowing Miranda, right? But I don't think that statement in itself would be enough. I think that we're on point when we say that it sounds like he's dry snitching. It sounds like instead of saying he's innocent, he's kind of low-key implicating other people. I will say, though, that from, my experience and from what I've seen with these types of cases, that is usually what happens. Usually a predator has, allegedly, an alleged predator, has a group, has a network, right? We see the same thing in R. Kelly's case, and we also see the same thing in Michael Nowak's case, because Michael Nowak has said in the past, if I go down, everybody goes down. What does that mean? We know that these types of alleged predators tend to have a network. It's usually not just them. And it's also the network that protects them. And so they will do that. They'll start pointing fingers and kind of low-key telling the network, you protect me, because if you don't protect me, I'm going to drag you down with me.
Wow. Any other questions, Aaron? That was a good question you asked too, brother.
Yeah, I
Aaron,
appreciate it. Now that
go
was
ahead.
it, because it sounds like it's basically like you said, if I'm going down, yeah, it's basically like you're saying that if I'm going down, you're going down too. So that's pretty much, to me, that's like a cowardly act too. Also, it's like, instead of standing up and taking responsibility for your own actions, you want to drag other people also. So that's pretty much what it sounds like. Yeah, thank you.
All right, Aaron, thank you for coming upstairs and asking your questions, brother. I'll see you very soon. We'll be I'm sure you'll be over to another stream that I have, and we'll talk. Thank you. Let me do this. I'm going to drop another link in the chat room, and I'll let thank you again, Aaron, and I'll let a few more people come up, and then we're going to have to make room for her time with her family. Thank you for giving me this time to take some of the questions that people may have. I'm going to see if I can get maybe one or two other people up here, or whoever comes up, and ask a few more questions, and then we're going to let you depart from the program so that you can spend the time that's needed with your family. And I really appreciate your time, though. Again, we got the minister, aka Extreme, who gave me a super chat. Thank you for that, brother.
Thank you for the super chat.
I really appreciate that as well. We got Chris CCC is in the house. We got Yusef is in the house from the Ratchet Today is in the house. Peace to you for coming over. The Queen's in the house. Sister Murray, who came upstairs and spoke to us. We had the real Aaron Collins that spoke to us. We got Bob Cosmic in the house. We got Black Votron in the house too. Let me show Black Votron some love. He's telling everybody to share the video, subscribe to the channel. Make sure you subscribe to the Empowered Esquire TV immediately. And her link to her channel is in the description of this video. So thank you for dropping her link in there. Also, don't forget to subscribe to my channel as well.
You are listening to Information Man. Please make sure to subscribe to his channel.
Thank you. And definitely hit the bell and notification for that. We got Natural in the house, so peace to her. We got the Oracle coming back over. Is in the house. I dropped another link in there for anyone that wants to come upstairs and ask a few more questions. Don't be shy. This is a good time. Make sure that you turn any back sound off so that there's no sound coming into the stream. Be ready and have your question ready to go, because we're only going to do this for a short amount of time, because I want to be respectful of her time. We got J-Lo Riches in the house. We got the lady, A-Lady 747, who's in the house, who's promoting the super chat. And I thank you, anybody that super chats me. Anybody that super chatted me out there and I didn't get a chance to see that super chat alert on my phone, thank you. Okay, we got someone. Oh, looked like someone was about to come up, and then they dropped off. So let me ask you this question while we're at it. This is more around the polite situation. Oh, okay, we have someone who's come back up here. And I think, all right, brother, you came back up. Did you have another question? Did you have another question, brother?
Can you hear me now?
Yes. You came back upstairs. Did you have another question for the sister?
Yes, I do. Are we having a men's conference on 2022 here in South Africa? I'm basically now trying to apply, get an email. Maybe she can come and speak on that.
The live. You're saying that there's a live male conference in South Africa?
Yeah, so it's gonna be. I'll have your email. I'll send you all the information, man, and yeah. If you should be keen.
This is what we can do, brother. This is what we can do. Send me the email, and then maybe we can do a show, and I can bring you on for a 1-to-1 to talk about the male conference in South Africa and what it was all about, what was said there, what are the goals and objectives of that conference. Let's do something like that.
Yeah, no, it's something we're planning for 2022 in June, because every June is Men's Month.
Oh, 2022. Okay, so this will be a futuristic stream that we'll do. Okay, I'm game for that.
We're hosting small events right now.
Okay,
but yeah, the main one is in, yeah. But I'll definitely send you the information.
Okay, I appreciate that. All right. Well, you know what, folks? This is what I'm gonna do. Appreciate you coming upstairs. I'm gonna sister, I'm gonna probably have to just let you depart, because I know you're there with your family and no one else came up to ask any questions. I would have liked to someone else to come up and ask them some questions, but nobody hit that link. But I want to say to you, thank you for coming over and joining me today. I give you a clap. And I think that the stream was well received today. You were well received as usual. I think people really appreciate the fact that you have come on board these streams of YouTube to give some legal analysis to sort of keep us out of this making up stuff. You balance us on YouTube, because every time people are saying things right off the cuff of their brain, we can always look to you to sort of get it right for us, to put down the flames, to put those flames out of speculation and woodle and all these things that are not based in truth, but are just based in our personal belief system. Can you remind everybody again, sister, the importance of why they do their streams? The importance of trying to stay within what we know already, based on the bond hearing and what we know in the police report and what's been reported in the crime website in Florida. Can you remind people of that?
Once more, everyone, I implore you to remove yourself from this situation. Do not become personally involved in these cases. Try to view them from an unbiased, impartial perspective, and try to stick with giving your opinion and your thoughts on the information that has been publicly released. There's a number of reasons why you should do that. Before we even get to why you should do it personally, let's just talk about the case in itself. If you do it any other way, you could be harming the case. So the first thing, right? And then the second thing is you could be putting a target on your back for having all sorts of trolls and weirdos and other people threaten you. So one, let's not harm the case, and second, let's stay safe.
All right, we got Glenn Simpson. Thank you for coming over from Brother Honors. I appreciate you coming over, and it looks like people really, like I said again, you're very well received by everybody in the chat room, everybody that's listening from afar. The last time I had you on, I got nothing but rave reviews about you. And you've been I'm pretty sure you've got a lot of other people that are clamoring at your doors to get you on their platform to do further analysis of these legal issues. And let me ask you, have you been following this Gabby case, this Brian Laundrie case? It's been heating up all of YouTube. What are your thoughts?
I haven't followed it closely. I've seen it on some channels and thought I need to, check that out. So I have not followed it closely. I think that the young lady went on a road trip with her fiance or new husband, something of that nature, right? And just disappeared, just kind of fell off the face of the earth.
Right.
And now I've seen a lot of things about the boyfriend being on the run, and it's looking as though the boyfriend may have harmed her and caused her to die. May have harmed her. Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
That's what it's looking like right now. I don't know all of the details, because a lot of cases like this, I like to let them unfold. I think there's two ways to do things. So I don't judge content creators who like to jump on things right away. I don't judge. Some people, that's their style.
Yeah.
My style is, I'm a big picture person. So my style is let it unfold, let it happen, and then I will give my 2 cents on it.
Okay. Once again, Empowered Esquire, I will be looking to contact you for other future legal related situations and cases. And so be on the lookout for me to contact you for other analysis so that when we go into our individual YouTube channels and give our point of view, we can balance it out with the legal point of view. So therefore, we don't go with narratives that lead us in the wrong direction. And with that said, I want to say to you again, thank you for being here, my sister. I appreciate you. Have a great day with your family. All right, everybody, there she is. That is the Empowered Esquire who came on board with us. I appreciate everybody that's here. Do me the biggest favor again, and you know I always say this, and that is go ahead and share this video in all of your social media, your Facebook, your Twitter, all of it. If you're a member of websites, particularly websites that cater to black content or whatever website, share this video on those websites. Share this video with your friends, your family members, people that you know, that you're cool with, whatever it may be. Share it. That's how we grow channels. I want to thank everybody in the chat room that's come over here and super chatted me. I want to thank everybody. It doesn't matter if you super chatted, you cash app, that doesn't matter. The fact that you took time on your Sunday to come over here and join the Information Man show, that means a lot to me. As the channel is continuing to grow, I'm sure this video will definitely get lots of nice views. But the truth of the matter is, I've been reporting on these things because I like I said, I have a child myself, and these sort of things do hit home for us. So when you are a parent, it has a different aspect to it, more than any other situation. Let me take something else off of here real quick that I don't need on here, and boom, take that border off of there. So everybody, again, I really appreciate you coming over. I'll see you around the YouTube streets. We got Black Voltron in the house, A Lady 747, Kiki, Chris CCC, J Lo, Bob Cosmetic. We got the Queen. We got my man DOD saying great live stream. I really appreciate that, brother. Joy. And the real Aaron Collins, thank you for coming upstairs. We got the Minister, aka Extreme, who came over. We got Nikki Love Entertainment. Thank you, sisters. Great when I see you. It's been a while. You came over, I think, a couple of weeks ago when I was on live. So it's good to see you back in the fold over here. I want to say thank you to Sister Murray, who blessed me with super chat today. Brother Keith, who blessed me with a super chat today. I thank you. We got Erica. We got Erica in the house. She says Black Power. Thank you for that. We got Yusef from the Ratchet today, who came in to give us a little bit of love today. I appreciate you, brother, for coming over. We got Back to the Basics, who's been following me. Well, I don't like to use the word follow. She's been supporting the channel for quite a long time now, so I thank her. We got Chris CC, who I know from the Pastel Show. She's a moderator over in the Pastel Show, as well as a Lady 747. She's a moderator over there as well. We had the Lady T Speaks saying thank you so much. Take care for supporting us. We got Keith again. We got Ear Hustler, who came in the house to give us support, and we got Remy Red from the UK, who came over supporting as well. And I think that's everybody that I can see inside of my system. We got Badass Trucking Lady. We got Badass Trucking Babe, who came in as well and gave some support today. And I definitely appreciate it. I'm just looking to see everybody that came in, if there's any new there. Let's see. So I really appreciate everybody for coming over. Let me let you know right now that I do have another live stream that I'm going to present to you. Not tonight. I'm going to relax the rest of my Sunday evening and check out what's going on the YouTube streets. However, everybody, I've been looking at this case with the Gavi case and this Brian Laundrie case and this whole thing about they can't find him. He's somewhere out there in the woods. He's somewhere out there. Well, check this out. I am going to touch on that, but what I'm going to do is going to have a different twist. The reason why it's going to have a different twist is because, ladies and gentlemen, let me hit you with the news right now. This is what I would call breaking news, and here we go.
Information is
Tell the
power.
truth.
I'm about to tell the truth right now. I'm about to go live Monday in the evening. I'm going to talk about that situation with the Brian Laundrie and the Gabby, but I'm coming from a different perspective. Because you see, ladies and gentlemen, there are lots of black men and black women that are missing in our country, missing all over the global world that we live in. We've got people, black people, that have gone missing. We have black people who have unsolved crimes. We have black women who go missing left and right, and the media does not give any attention to it. But if you're blonde, you're blue-eyed, if you're a white person, you're a white girl in particular, I'm telling the truth here, the media will give it all attention. Hell, will give it all attention. You see, ladies and gentlemen, black folks have been going missing, and nobody gives a damn. There's three incidents of black people that are missing right now. One brother who I think they said he was hiking somewhere in the mountains. Nobody knows his whereabouts. Oh, I'm going to tell you the story of a young man by the name of Therese Gibson. Last year, 4 people that knew him, all of a sudden he goes out. He doesn't come back to his mom's house alive. They can't find the body. And then you have those that were involved with potentially doing harm to him. They're not even arrested. One of them even made a rap song talking about, I made bail, talking about, I'm out. Oh, I'm going to talk about it. Not only am I going to talk about that issue eventually, but I've got in contact with Sister SP News. If SP News is out there, I called you. I tried to call you, and because she's going to connect me with the mother of Therese Gibson, the brother who from a year ago, the media did nothing. This is in the media has done nothing to solve his crime. Those that victimize him are walking out free. I'm going to get into that issue. And as soon as I get that connection with SP News, she's a content creator, check her out. I'm going to bring that sister on, the mother, to give her story about what happened to her son and how the police have done nothing to solve the crime. So while we all get all stuck on this Gabby issue and this Brian Laundrie issue, keep in mind you've got black people who go missing in America. Nobody cares about black people. There's no value on black life in America. See, while everybody's talking about the Gabby situation and the Brian Laundrie situation, we still have a situation where black people go missing, like black women in particular and black men, and nobody gives a damn about our black lives. So you know what? I'm going to talk about it. Matter of fact, I'm going to give you the statistics. I'm going to show you pictures of victims that they have never solved. When black boys go missing, when black women go missing, the media doesn't talk about it. This Gabby and Brian Laundrie situation has gone national and international. When black people go missing, it's as quiet as a rat pissing on cotton. Let me go quiet right now and show you what I mean symbolically. You see how quiet I was? You didn't hear anything. That's what happens when black people go missing, when black women go missing, when black men go missing, when black people go missing, nobody cares. There have been tons of cases over the last years, in decades, where black people went missing, nobody cared. When you look at the Atlanta, Georgia situation where you had black boys going missing in Atlanta, Georgia situation. Remember that got prominence. But check this out. The media didn't tell you that all of those black men and black boys that were found killed, they had something missing on their body. Ladies and gentlemen, are you ready for this? Their penises were missing. Their private parts were missing. And nobody really delved in that deeper. See, black people, we don't just go missing. Sometimes when we go missing, a lot of times it's foul play because that's just not in our nature. So everybody, while you take in this Gabby and this Brian Laundrie content, remember, there are black people who go missing and the media does not give them the same attention. The media, and I'm going to tell you the reason why the media internationally and nationally is talking about this. Sister Monica says, Information Man, tell it. Black people go missing every day and the mainstream news source don't talk about it. That's right.
Tell the truth.
And thank you for the super chat, sister.
Thank you for the super chat.
Let me go at it again. Let me go right here and read this right here from Sister the Queen. She says, that's the white community. Make sure that take care of white members, but it is not a lot black people not helping or standing up in our black communities, as well as which needs to also be spoken out. Now, let me continue with what I'm saying to you folks, and thank you for those statements that you said, my sister. Thank you for that. Let me just say this to you as well. Everybody is watching this content and enjoying the content of this guy, Brian Laundrie. Where is he at? Is he missing? Is he hiding out? Everyone's enjoying that content, and you have the right to enjoy that content if you want to watch that content. But I'm going to tell you right now, I'm going to say it again. The only reason why the media is focusing on this case because it was a white female who got herself missing. It was a white not got herself, but it's a white female that is now missing. Let me correct what I said. It's a white female who is now missing. It is a white female who was then pronounced not alive anymore, right? So she went from being alive to being missing to not being alive anymore. And we have a white guy who's running around out there, allegedly alive or not alive, somehow roughing it. And everyone's talking about this because it all started with a white female who's no longer with us. Well, guess what? When black females are gone missing, when black women come up on a short end of the stick, when black men come up on a short end of the stick, when black life is not around, it's gone missing, the media goes dormant on it. They'll talk about it for a minute and then you don't hear anything. It doesn't go international. You don't see everybody busting out all these YouTube videos about black people left and right going missing. There's a few of us that may talk about black folks that have gone missing, but it ain't enough of us. So what I'm telling you, ladies and gentlemen, what you're going to get from the Information Man show come Monday, tomorrow, I'm going to delve into this situation. I'm going to give you a comprehensive analysis, as you know I can do, of the many of black people, black men and women that have gone missing, including black children. Even when black children go missing, I don't see all these people talking about black kids that go missing too. I'm going to give you the definitive analysis as it relates to that issue. Statistics, faces and pictures, and those that have gone missing. No one talks about it. And hopefully I'll get Therese Gibson's mother on this channel to talk about what happened to her son and how the media is not talking about it. The news is not talking about it. While we sit up here so focused on Gabby, who's no longer with us, and Brian Laundrie. It's horrific. It is horrific what happened to her. It is horrific that he's running around now. But it is even more horrific that when black lives are taken out of here in that way, the media doesn't talk about it. The press don't talk about it. Written press don't talk enough about it. And sometimes we don't even bring enough gravity to it. Well, ladies and gentlemen, I'm bringing gravity to it. With that said, you're listening to the Information Man show. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen, for being here. Y'all have a great rest of y'all evening. I just had to say it because that's how the Information Man gets down over here. Peace to you. Tell the truth. Peace to you all. Everybody in that chat room, peace to you. Love you all. All your support that I get from you, thank you. Thank you for your support. Damn it, thank you for that support. Thank you again.
Don't slip on the trail. Tempo, tempo. Can you keep up with my tempo? Tempo. Yeah, blowing up C4. I just hit the Mike Jackson on my tiptoes.
Information
I know
power.
We go wherever that wind blows. The endo. Don't slip on the trail. Don't slip on the, don't slip on the, don't slip on the, don't slip on the trail. Don't slip on the trail. High key, I know. I send all of my rap foes like they my tadpoles. Yeah. Blowing up C4. I just had to go crack now on my Depot. Yeah, that Draco bustin' like free throws. I do not miss no
Information is power.
That's why I never lose. They can't predict my moves. I'm way too smooth. I just caught a groove. This right here, that Charizard, the fire in the booth. Had to go right back to it. If you ain't talking my money, please save your breath. Don't bring it up to me. I pull up and I stunt like a 007 James Bond type movie. Hey, don't slip on the trip. No. Don't slip on the trip. Don't slip on the.
You are listening to Information Man. Please make sure to subscribe to his channel.
tempo, tempo. You keep up with my tempo, tempo.
I'm racing the clock, look at him block, watching him block. Used to see this in my sleep when I ain't had put my thoughts in the car. I really was.
All right, let me say shout out to the Empress KIYA that came in the house. If you missed anything, watch the replay. It was a great program. Good to have you here.
With the gas tank running on fumes, wonder why you full on the envy. When it's all love, when I fall through with the young bulls, getting niggas a kidney, but you ain't mob, you a op. Must be lost in the sauce. Been here for the art and the jump start. Wanted this is small, pack the lunchbox with the Kool-Aid jammers, and I'm still throwing tantrum. I'm set to roam around the planet where they know the songs and they chant them. The vision turned into fruition. I'm really liking how it's panning. They call me collected, you thought I planned it. Been crazy, then it fell into place. Now everything's stable. I'm all in on the table. You selling that fable, we know that it's made up. We know what you made of. I do better offline, yeah. I've been calling to a guy. I'm in tune with the signs. I'm just trying to let go. I'm just trying to be me. I'm just trying to do fine. Moon landed with the elevation. Armstrong with the levitation. My third eye needed calibration. That was heat rock when I notated. I've been going crazy. Stone face when I kill beat, leaving no trace on location. Premeditated, ayy. Can't even still feel like more than a minute. The way that they play out, I don't wanna miss out on no part of this shit. Feel like I'm deep in the plot of a flick, and I'm the star of this shit. And I've been playing my part since back when we started this shit. Feeling charged, got a little coin on me, and I sauce with the nits. I'm a boss, I'm a prick. With the cold showed up in the bro doja in the fourth quarter, no assist. And the form's hella crisp. I'm the calm in a storm. I took my own struggle when I flipped it. And the hustle been legitimate. It's so many blessings, I might be allergic. How I move, they treating the sound like I'm stirring. I'm working the pot till it's firm. I serve like Serena, do it the cleanest. You not on my wave, you can't handle the current. Nah, that's just a teaser, yeah. I'ma be me, take it or leave it. I do better offline, yeah. I've been calling to a guy. I'm in tune with the signs. I'm just trying to let go. I'm just trying to be me. I'm just trying to do fine.
Information is power. Tell the truth. Information is
Tell the truth.
Information is power. Information is power. Information is power. Information Man, please make sure to subscribe to his channel.
All right, everybody, have a great rest of your weekend, a great night. Peace and love to all of you. Everybody in that chat room, everybody listening, you are what makes this show go. Once again, be on the lookout for my next stream as I will go in on the subject matter that I just talked about just a moment ago. Thank you all. I'll see you around the YouTube streets. I see we have one community who just came into the house. Peace and love to you. Check out that brother's channel. Definitely a good channel. This brother is giving me nothing but love over there. And at some point in time, he will come on board the channel and I will interview him about his channel. But not only that, this brother has been involved in endeavoring in making his own products, hats and various things. And he has a lot to share with you when it comes to making your own merch and your own merchandise. And, producing your own product and selling it and selling a product that speaks to your culture, speaks to your people. Very positive brother. So peace to you once again. One community. Check the brother out. When I go over there, I get a lot of love. Let me say shout out to CCC TV. Both of them have given me nothing but love when I've gone over to their channel. And that's just the facts. But when I come live again about the subject matter that I talked about, I will be an angry black man. Because I'm going to go in on that, and I'm going to go in that. Now, when I say angry black man, let me correct that. Let me just say that I'm going to go in on the issue with reality and with truth, because a lot of our people, as I said before, we're going missing too. And I don't see this much vitriol that we see that's happening around this Gavi case. When it comes to black lives being missing, nobody cares about black lives. And that's just the truth.
Tell the truth.
So everybody, take care. Love you again. Another clap to everybody in the chat room again.
Tell the truth.
Have a good night, everybody. Peace. Love you.
You are listening to Information Man. Please make sure to subscribe to his channel.